This video is going to be the start of a long-term review of the Mardingtop M6539 25-liter tactical bag. This is my very first full-length video, so I apologize. I am still learning and getting used to stuff like this. I have not yet posted an About Me video, which I am working on, talking about who I am, what I do, what I intend to do on this channel. But the bar of entry here is pretty low, and I wanted to get to this before I kitted out this bag and started using it. The intent is going to be to come back in like maybe 6 months to a year, or maybe sooner if it falls apart, and discuss the quality of the bag. I think it'll be a separate video, and it might be part of how to set up a bag like this. My short version of my About Me videos, I'm really not that cool or anybody you should probably listen to as far as setting up a bag, but I end up talking to a lot of people about gear and stuff like this, and there's probably room for, the C grade, version of how to set up a everyday carry bag. I'm not like a super tactical cool guy, but I do carry a bag on a daily to and from work, at work, etc. It's something that I always like to have because I do carry a lot of my own personal stuff that I like to have in the event that something does not go right. I am not a prepper, or at least I do not call myself a prepper by name. There's kind of an association with that with some people. I guess you could call me a prepper. I'm never going to use that term seriously, but I really like to be prepared. I was a former Boy Scout, and, among other things, I work in a field where I'm never sure where I'm going to be 100% of the time. Most of the time, my life is pretty boring, but every once in a while, it's not. And I like to have stuff with me. I have been carrying an ancient surplus Alice pack, literally probably for the last 5-6 years. It's at least a 20 or 30-year-old bag, and it has served me extremely well. The reason that I don't want to carry it anymore is it's too damn big. It's an extremely heavy bag, even completely empty. The frame in and of itself takes up quite a lot of room. The nice thing about a soft bag like this is if it's downloaded, it doesn't take up very much space. A frame pack has to take up the space of the frame. And, getting it into and out of vehicles, I've definitely scratched paint, and it just turns into a headache pretty quickly. It also tends to get caught on stuff when you're dragging it through vehicles. And it's been a really good pack. It has been a very good pack. It has a lot of very good features. I would not ever recommend them to anybody for hiking. I have good hiking bags. Mil spec does not mean best quality. It means minimum required quality on a budget, which is better than bad, but it does not necessarily mean great. And, in this case, the build quality is very good, but it is much heavier than a purpose-built hiking bag. And it is a pain in the butt to clean. You probably saw how filthy it is, and that is because sometime in the last month or so my kids spilled food on it, and I would have taken it apart and washed it, but you have to unstrap about 1,000 straps, undo about 1,000 clips in order to get everything off of the frame, and then and only then can you hand wash it. Something like this, I can download it and throw it in the washing machine on a gentle cycle, and it will probably be fine. Real quick, Alice pack, as far as I'm aware, they were introduced in the 1970s, and they have been in use with our armed forces for quite a long time. And they, in addition to being built like a brick crap house, they have the benefit of being water resistant material, extremely heavy duty material, and an actual waterproof flap here on top. And all of that has made it a very good bag for me. Again, it's just overkill for what I do and a little bit too much on a daily basis. This is actually my second time trying to take this video. I ended up on a bit of a ramble on 2 points, first being cheap gear and then the second one being capacity with an allegory, which I'm going to now go back into. I will start with, I like vehicles a lot. One of the primary things I'm going to be talking about on this channel is vehicles. But when people are often shopping for a vehicle, if they have not already been, a vehicle enthusiast, people tend to gravitate towards what they think they need. And I am never going to tell somebody that they shouldn't get something that they want. That's not my job. That's never been my job. But where I live in Alaska, lots of people want to own a truck. And as a truck owner, I'm here to tell you, I use the truck capacity maybe 10% of the time, and 90% of the time, I'm just using it to commute. There are some downsides to that. It takes up a lot of space. It's usually more expensive to purchase in the first place. You get crap gas mileage. So on and so forth. And the bag situation here is kind of similar to that. This is a 25-liter bag. I have no idea what the rated capacity of an Alice pack is, but it's enormous. And I can put a full-size coat, a change of clothes, and usually a day's worth of food in the main pouch and still have room in all of the side pouches for other stuff. I'm not going to have that in this. I'll be really happy if I can squeeze, a change of base layer and a day bag of food inside of this with the gear that I normally carry. But it is one of those things where on a daily basis, I do not need to put my coat in my bag. On a daily basis, I do not need to carry 3 pairs of clothes in my bag. If I do, usually I can carry a duffel bag or some separate item to carry food in. This is literally, for lack of a better term, a bug out bag that I carry every day that's got first aid, emergency supplies, and a change of base layer clothes. I do not need, the whole kit and caboodle every time I leave the house. I have definitely worked with people over the years that carry too much gear, and let me tell you, it's miserable because they take up an entire vehicle if you're sharing a work vehicle. I do not like that. I don't like being that guy that takes up way more space than is fair or reasonable, or then having to wait for them to pack their gear. This is just what I want to carry for my own safety, comfort, and well-being on a daily basis. I will probably do a separate video. I think I already mentioned this. I will probably do a separate video of how I end up setting this up, and what I carry. I am by no means an expert, so in the words of one of my best friends, your mileage may vary. But the primary point of this video is to discuss, how it holds up. And my initial, take on it is it does appear to be relatively high quality. I don't have any immediate construction concerns. I don't know if I would immediately go on a cross-country hiking trip with it without testing it because it was cheap. I think on sale it was less than $40, which is my kind of price point. To be fair, I only spent, I think, $20 on this surplus Alice pack, so it's in roughly the same budget range, and it looks nicer, mostly because it hasn't had, food spilled on it, and it hasn't sat in the dirt many, many times. But it is a 25-liter M6539 tactical backpack. And right away, just from the literature that comes with it, you can kind of tell that it's not a particularly super high quality outfit. There's definitely some spelling and language issues. You know, it's kind of a small one, but the image is upside down. But if I flip it around, it's right side up. That's not super high quality. You know, a reasonable quality company is going to print their literature so that it's the same orientation no matter how you flip it. This looks like it's taken straight out of Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. If you're not familiar, best video game I've ever played, in my opinion. It has some really glaring issues right out of the right off the bat. You've got adjustable elastic sternum strap with thickened design. High quality YKK zippers. I wonder about that because I don't see any branding. But quite frankly, I don't care as long... Oh, hey. That one does say YKK. Who knows if that's real? I really don't care, you know, about little stuff like that if it works. And, you know, some people online on Amazon had mentioned that, you know, it's only single row stitching. Well, you know, quite frankly, there's only single row stitching on this Alice pack in the locations that are stitched, and it has held up marvelously with lots of abuse. You know, we'll see. I ended up getting this one because it was one of the first bags that showed up when I searched for, you know, a tactical bag. You have your big name brand ones like 511 and I don't know. There's a bunch of other brands. But this was the cheapest one, and I like the configuration of the pouches. It has a waterproof cover down here. It's got, you know, a front component, which looks like it's potentially set up for magazines, and a larger pocket here. It's got what they describe, I think, as a, like, wallet compartment, ID compartment. And then it's got the primary compartment here, which is large enough, and then a full height divider section, which I suspect is for a hydration. It is for a hydration bladder. There's a port up here, which I don't think I will ever use that function because it's quite a small bag to put a water bladder in, quite frankly. But it also has 2 external water bottle holders of some variety, which I like. And Molly, because of course you can't be tacticool if you don't have stuff mollied to it. And it's got a patch for your cool patch right there. Now, one of the things that I wanted to retake, to put it more politely, is there are a lot of people that shit on low quality gear, and, you know, to each their own. It is one of those things where not everybody can spend more than $100 on a bag. I think an equivalent big name brand version of this bag would be easily over $100. And quite frankly, I just don't want to spend that much money on a backpack. You know, it's the equivalent of a school bag for an adult. In my opinion, the only part that makes it tacticool is it has extra pouches on the outside so you can access and organize your gear well. And I don't genuinely think that it makes a bag worth $100. Now, the funny part will be when this thing disintegrates on me, and it may very well do that. But that's kind of the point of this video, is it's going to be a long-term review of the build quality and what I do or do not like about it. I'm not going to go back and watch my video, but I think I already talked about this Alice pack is just way too much for the daily, and it takes up a lot of space. One of the things that I don't like about it is I don't like wearing it when I'm riding a motorcycle. I don't think having a large aluminum frame on my back would be a good thing to have if I get thrown off my bike. And I think that this is far more likely to come off and not injure me, you know, in the event of a crash. It's not a matter of when, if, it's a matter of when. And it's just one of those things where I like to try to be prepared as much as I can be in a reasonable manner. And just in case I didn't say it already, this is the Mardingtop. 25-liter bag. I am not in any way, shape, or form sponsored by them. I spent my own money on it, and I intend to find out if it's worth spending about $40 on. And I will get back to you guys at a later date, an unknown later date. Thanks, and have a good day.